I'm exhausted. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm shattered. I didn't have a very good night's sleep last night, which I thought, alright, okay, now's probably a good time to do the video that quite a few people have been asking me to do. So, autism and sleep. Sleep problems is something that affects, I believe, 80% of those on the spectrum, and there's many reasons for it. And yes, I do fall into that 80%, but to be fair, most of the times it's quite alright for me because I've kind of worked it out now, but when I was younger, no. So let's start off when I was little. My mum, she never really had specific times for when I should go to sleep and wake up. Like, I don't know what, when I was a baby, because I was a baby, I don't remember. Should have asked my mum this, but I didn't, so meh. But my mum's method of parenting has always been very relaxed, so that happened with sleeping. But as soon as I turned like 7, 8, I properly discovered what time was. Like, I had my own alarm clock and I loved it. I would wake myself up purposely at the same time every day. It's that routine thing, just love. Yeah. Of course, when I got into the teenage stage, I fell for the whole typical teenage thing. Oh yeah, I don't need sleep, I can stay up really late. Like, let's face it, what was the reason we're forcing ourselves to stay awake? I don't know. Because I started staying awake, obviously, those on the spectrum were inclined to get into routine, and that's the routine I got into for years. Like, literally going off 4 hours sleep a night. It was terrible. 4's probably a bit of an exaggeration. Actually, no, to be fair, right, 6. Probably about 6 hours sleep, which isn't enough for me. Luckily, when I left sixth form, I actually had time to reprogram my brain's sleeping pattern, and ever since then I've been absolutely fine. Well, for the majority of it. I think getting sleep is obviously one of the hardest things, neurotypical or autistic. Problem is, when you're autistic, of course, the sensitivity side of things, if it's silent, that can either be too much or not enough. Any little light can feel like a beacon. It's just temperature. Temperature is a massive one in that thing. Like, oh, my temperature scales are off the thing. I'm a human radiator. So getting my temperature right is something that's such an issue every single night. The whole thinking of nothing and trying to relax. I'm not a very relaxed person, so actually trying to relax all my muscles is something quite interesting. And then trying to think of nothing, it just doesn't work. Of course, we're an army of obsessive minds, we are. And if I'm obsessed with something, I'm obsessed with something. I think about it every single minute of every hour of every... I feel like I'm singing a JLS song. Am I? I don't know. So typically at night, when you've got nothing else surrounding you or distracting you, that's when your brain's going to enter full... Ooh, I want to think about things. Like, I start thinking about time travel and stuff. Trying to stop all this information flooding through your head, it's like torture, basically, because it just doesn't happen. Like, the whole general thing about autism is that your brain's moving at a different speed to neurotypicals, in a way, very loosely, because it's just so much information going round and round. That's what you have to deal with. Luckily, as I've got older, in terms of how my autism works, I have a lot of coping mechanisms for things. These coping mechanisms exhaust me throughout the day, so by the time it gets to like 9, 10 o'clock, I'm exhausted from whatever I've done. Like, I'm mentally exhausted. That exhaustion, I'm that tired, I just fall asleep most nights, as in just like, which has been really nice. And then if I'm not mentally exhausted, I will exhaust myself. Like, if I start thinking about something like time travel or something, what I find best is to think about something that you're not going to find a solution to. If you do a Sudoku, for example, and you figure that out, which wouldn't take me long at all because clever clogs, yes. But if you complete that, you're then like, oh, right, now what? As opposed to there is no end, so it doesn't make a difference. Another thing I like to do, put on Game of Thrones. I've been trying to watch Game of Thrones for years, but the problem is I always watch it at night, and you really have to pay attention with Game of Thrones. But because I watch it at night, I just fall asleep halfway through. Also, I can't believe I'm about to say this on the internet, I don't like to sleep with any clothes on. Like, I just get too itchy. Pyjamas and duvet and stuff, it's a challenge every night. If I know I'm sleeping with someone, I can prepare myself. Sleeping bags if you're sleeping with people, that helps. But now, if I, like, when I went to Summer in the City and I had to share a bed with my sister, I kept on my boxers and my top, so good on me. This is turning to Connor the Sleep Stripper. Let's change subject. It's about finding a duvet you're comfortable with and things like that. I'm glad I don't live in London, otherwise I wouldn't be able to sleep ever, because I couldn't sleep when I went to stay in London. Too noisy. I need silence to sleep. Like, silent. However, I can sleep in really odd places too. Like, to say I'm quite hypersensitive, I can fall asleep in the shower, and often do. This is one of the weirdest things. I can sleep standing up, and like, I've been known to fall asleep standing up in the shower. That normally comes from exhaustion, admittedly. That's not an autism thing, that's just me being weird. Unless you're all going to comment, I fall asleep in the shower too, which I doubt, I highly doubt. The most key thing for me is every morning to have an alarm set for the same time. I need to have that start, and luckily, because I'm so used to that, I don't need an alarm to wake up. I do have my alarm on, just in case obviously, but I always wake up at the same time anyway. I have my alarm on at 10 to 7, I always wake up at 6:45. That's an everyday thing, weekends included. I don't have an alarm on at the weekends because I can sleep in, but I will always wake up at the same time just because that's how it is. I'm quite a light sleeper in general. Like any noise and stuff, I'll wake up, but I'm quite good at just going straight back to sleep because I don't fully wake up. I'm just like, nah. Going back to the alarm thing though, I think it's key to have that start every morning, because say if you have a night's sleep where you can't sleep very well, you don't have much sleep throughout that day, and then stay awake all day, do not nap in the day, don't ever do it, and then you should be that exhausted by the time it gets to actual sleep time that you'll get yourself back into a pattern in no time. The problem is when people struggle to sleep, often they can go to the doctors and get medical help, which just messes up everything. Try everything before you try medication. That's the thing with all of autism, to be fair. You should try all behaviour things and routine things before any medication, because no. If you're on the spectrum, you need more sleep than the average person. That's just how it works. Your brain works harder, it needs more sleep. And that's the thing, if I don't have as much sleep, I'm terrible. My human interaction skills go out the window, sensitivity issues go high up, meltdowns are so much more likely to happen. I just need sleep, basically. Sleep is my key to be able to present the person that you normally get. I tend to stay away from people when I haven't slept because it's just not worth it. All I want to do is get back in this bed and go back to sleep. But I'm not going to do that because I know that that will mess me up tonight. I'm going to force myself to stay awake. I've got this video to edit and upload, then hopefully I'll be back on track tomorrow. And I've got to finish a university assignment this week. Yeah, my last one of the module, and then I have a few weeks off, so I'll be like pro YouTube for a bit. Pro at YouTube. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I feel I've probably been more mumbly today too because I'm that tired. Sorry. I've literally just been staring like into space. What am I doing? Thank you very much for watching. Knox.